want to make a little video talking about a recent exchange between Cruz and Feinstein in one of the Senate debates. It really caught my attention because the wording of it, the verbiage, just the attitudes that were expressed there really struck home with me and really showed me what kind of a person Feinstein is. Cruz was making a point that, do you think that these restrictions that you want to place on the Second Amendment would be as palatable to you if you were placing them on the First Amendment or the Fourth Amendment? And people know the First Amendment is free speech and freedom from the government endorsing religion. And the Fourth Amendment is the search and seizure, the right of the people to be free from search and seizure. So he asked her, do you think that these things you're wanting to put on the Second Amendment, these restrictions, would be just as palatable for the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment? And of course, she didn't answer that question. What she did is kind of went into a spiel about, if you've seen the things I've seen, I'm not a sixth grader. I've walked in and I've seen people that were killed. I've seen people that were, tragically murdered and blah, blah, blah. That's horrible. That's horrible that you've had to see that. But the veterans of our armed forces see that all the time. It doesn't mean we stop having armed forces or stop having wars that are needed to be fought just because some people see some unpalatable things, see some disgusting things. It's just the necessary thing of life. It's just part of being in this world we live in. Sometimes bad things happen. So it's horrible that she saw these tragic things, and it's horrible that these things happen, but that is not a reason to do the things she's doing. So she really didn't go on with any reason. She didn't answer his question. Basically, she said, I'm respecting your opinion, you need to respect mine. She played that game of let's play like we're both 50-50 here. We both, both of our opinions are of equal value. Well, that's not true. That's a false assumption right off the bat. That's like saying if you're arguing with a racist, you have to respect their racism just as much as you do respect the person who's telling them that racism is wrong. Sometimes people are just wrong. That whole, if one person is adamantly on this side and one person is adamantly on that side, the truth lies in the middle. Well, that's not always true. Sometimes one person's just right and one person's just wrong. Because someone vehemently and adamantly stands by a position just as strongly as the person on the other side does their position, doesn't mean both of them are right. Doesn't mean both of them are equally right or equally wrong. Sometimes one person is just wrong. In this case, Feinstein is just wrong. Another thing she said I really want to touch on was how when she said that the assault weapons ban wasn't limiting firearms. The assault weapons ban was exempting like 2,000 and some firearms. I don't know the exact number. I'm sure some people will look it up. But she said, we're not limiting anything. We're exempting firearms. We're telling you which firearms you can have. And one thing Cruz didn't say that I would love to see him come back right there is I would love to hear him say, well, if we applied that to the free speech, what if we said, okay, some words are okay, and some words aren't. Therefore, we're not limiting free speech. We're exempting the words that you can speak freely. It just doesn't make any sense. That whole argument, that was the most left field, ridiculous argument I've ever heard. Now, I did like the fact that he slammed her on these restrictions as saying, well, what if we only applied the First Amendment to certain people except for the people that we have deemed that don't deserve it? And what if we had only applied the Fourth Amendment to all these people except for the people the Senate deems not worth it? He made great arguments, and all she came back with was emotional pleas and statements that just don't make any sense. So, if you haven't heard it, go listen to it, because it's kind of fun, because, it is basically just Cruz putting the smackdown on Feinstein.